Today, we're talking about 10 popular pre-made shakes. And you know what pre-made shakes are. They're ones that don't require the shaker or the blender. They're not powder form. They're already pre-made, so all you have to do is literally grab this thing and walk out the door. And the way I did this is I went to a CVS and I went to a grocery store and I picked up 10 of these pre-made shakes that I see all the time. So you're not gonna see brands that typically aren't found in a grocery store. The 10 I'm reviewing today, they're at Costco's, they're at Sam's Club, they're at Wegmans, they're at CVS. They're locations that are readily available for each of you. And the major thing that I'm gonna talk about today is, would I actually keep this in my fridge at home? Because there's gonna be plenty of factors like macros, which I'm gonna tell you, basically all of these are gonna pass the test. They're gonna have 10 grams of protein per 100 calories. Some of them might have unique components like caffeine, or they might be like a vegan protein option. I'll talk about that too. But the major thing is, does this taste good, and would I actually keep this in my refrigerator? So we're gonna have a little fun today. So it's gonna be a little lighter. I'm really gonna focus on, would I actually keep this in my refrigerator? And at the end, out of these 10, let's narrow it down to 3 that I really love and that I would actually purchase. Because variety is the spice of life. I wouldn't get too caught up in just having one pre-made shake. One might be better for summer, one might be better for winter, and one might be just better depending on your mood and what you actually want to taste. So let's start off with Quest, because everyone loves Quest. 170 calories, 30 grams of protein, no fiber, 1 gram of sugar. Quest has stood the test of time. I still think this has one of the most delicious, decadent protein shakes, whether it's in powder or it's pre-made, on the market. It's a little sweet for me, but especially if you're new to your fitness journey, because your taste buds shed over time, they change. So like you might be like, oh, I don't like artichokes, I don't like vegetables. Listen, if you've been training for a long period of time and you've been really dialed in your nutrition, if I went and ate a donut, it would taste so disgustingly sweet for me. And don't see that as me like having my nose up in the air. What I'm really saying to you is, over time, your taste buds are gonna change. And so for me right now, this is probably a little bit on the sweet side. Oh, it's so good. Really is. It's very good, but it is really sweet. It's too sweet for me, but again, macros are fantastic. If you like this, you can purchase it. Rich Piana has a great saying. He said, which protein powder is the right protein powder? Cover your eyes, turn around in a circle, point. That's the one that's best, which just highlights like any of these again are good options, but for me, I find this Quest a little bit on the sweet side. I'm gonna get all my calories for lunch here, just straight in protein. This is not a traditional lunch for me. This is Atkins. So if you don't know, Atkins actually acquired Quest Nutrition. So these are both owned by the same holding company. And this one in particular, I got the iced chai. I've never had the iced chai latte flavor before, but I really like chai lattes. It's not something I order on a regular basis, but I do like the taste of it. Yeah. It's interesting because it has caffeine. Atkins has a couple brands that has caffeine, a couple that don't. I like sometimes when protein shakes have caffeine because it's kind of like a nice like 3 o'clock midday pick-me-up. Think about most people, they have breakfast, they have lunch. 3 o'clock, usually people are starting to get a little tired at work, so they need like a midday pick-me-up so they can go home to their kids or their spouse or whatever they have planned for the evening. And at the same time too, like it's very common that if people don't have like a little snack between lunch and dinner, they end up eating way too much at dinner time. For most people, dinner is their biggest meal because they're just really hungry from lunch. This is okay. I don't think it's great. It's got 160 calories, 15 grams of protein. This actually doesn't pass the test. This might be our only pre-made shake that doesn't pass. It does have 3 grams of fiber, which I like. Again, at the end, I'll give a little synopsis of all these, but this is so-so. It's mediocre at best. In other words, I would never keep this refrigerator. This is a brand I've been seeing a lot, Alani. I originally saw it in Costco. I had never seen it anywhere else. And then I think I actually got this at Wegmans. I think it's new on their shelves, or relatively new, like the last 6 months on their shelves there. All right, we're just gonna destroy this thing. All right, I don't have a lot of, let's shake it, let's give it a chance. This is Munchies. So it's got cookies on it, it's got caramel, it's got pretzels, it's 140 calories, 25 grams of protein. That's killer macros. It's really, really good. 3 grams of fiber. Yeah, the macros on this thing are solid. no. This is probably going to be in like 10th place. It might just be that it's the Munchies flavor. I didn't get various flavors. But the other thing is it's just really watery. It doesn't have like a rich texture. And from somebody who's constantly doing like product reviews and constantly dealing with clients who are losing weight, texture has a surprising role in taste. So, I mean, some people are like totally anti-Quest protein bars just because the texture's too rough. Other people, they hate Built protein bars because it's too chewy. It's like a Milky Way. Texture's a very big deal, and this is just like, it's very much like water. It almost tastes like if you made like a protein shake and you shook it up and you had the powder in there and you just made it with water. It's not great. Premier Protein, pardon me. Premier Protein. This company has a cult-like following. People love it. And I think the biggest reason is there are so many different flavors. I've seen like salted popcorn flavor. I've seen cinnamon roll flavor. There's just so many different varieties of this. It's also relatively cheap. It's a very affordable pre-made protein shake. So I think that's part of the reason that people enjoy it so much. It also has stellar macros, 160 calories, 30 grams of protein. It's fortified with vitamins and minerals. Let me look at this thing. It's milk protein concentrate. That's not a big deal. Some people seem to think it is, but it's not. Really, when you look at like, is this whey protein? Is this concentrate? Is this made with like, this one I believe is gonna have some, usually the actual powder form of Quest, it has some casein as well as whey. That's not the case with this. It's just protein isolate. But concentrate is really not a big deal because protein breaks down quickly enough that as long as you're spacing your meals about 4 hours, 6 hours apart, you're gonna be perfectly fine. We used to think like, oh, you need hydrolyzed whey immediately after your workout. It's not what they used to call it an anabolic window. It's more like an anabolic barn door. It's like, if you work out, try to get some protein in the next couple hours. It's not like you only have 30 minutes and you gotta get whey protein. So the fact is, it's concentrate, not a big deal to me. 160 calories, 30 grams of protein, 2 grams of fiber. Again, it's got good macros, and it's got a ton of tastes, or a ton of different flavors. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. These are my studs. These are my duds so far. This is really good. I understand why people love Premier Protein. Even the cereal, I like the cereal too. It can be a little, you have to leave your milk in it for a bit so it doesn't like chew up the roof of your mouth, but it's good. This is only what you need. This is I know it's a plant-based. Plant-based, so it's vegetarian or vegan. Is it vegan? Let's see what it is. Yes, it's vegan. So there's no dairy, it's plant-based, 100%. 32 grams of protein at 200 calories. That's not shocking. It's not gonna have as good macros as the rest of these products. It does surprisingly have better macros than Atkins. This is like the ultimate, like this, it doesn't even pass the test and it doesn't taste good. But it's not gonna have as good macros as the other options in here because it's coming from sources like pea protein, etc. It also has more fat because it has sunflower oil, things like that. So as soon as you throw a fat source in there, it's got 6 grams of fat. None of these other shakes. This one does actually, has 9 grams of fat. That's why its macros suck. This is 3.5, 3, yeah. Most of these are gonna have way less fat than this. This is what jacked up Atkins. It had too much fat. 200 calories, 6 grams of fiber. We like that. And 32 grams of protein. Again, it still passes the test, right? 32 grams of protein, you put a 0 behind that. Does it have 320 calories or less? This does. It has 200 calories. But it is a little higher than some of the other things that we're looking at here. Like, for example, this has Quest, 30 grams of protein, 170 calories, but it passes the test. So only what you need. Oh my God. Holy cow. Ugh. Oh, I'm gonna give it one more try. Oh man, no. That's heavy. It's very heavy. Oh man, if you made me drink like 4 of these, if you were like, Jake, you must drink, I would throw up. Not even kidding. It's, oh my God. Okay. Ugh, no, this is the worst now than this, just based on taste. So we got muscle milk, 170 calories, 32 grams of protein. I don't need to taste this to tell you it's good. I'll put this in my stud list. This wouldn't be one of my go-tos to purchase, but it's in my stud list. Optimum Nutrition. I do not see this around a lot. I found this in a Wegmans. Wegmans has a crazy supplement selection, so I doubt you will find this at most grocery stores. But Optimum Nutrition has been around forever. 130 calories, 24 grams of protein. By the way, the fact it's been around forever is a good thing. That's a pro. It means it's a reputable brand. It's stands the test of time. 130 calories, 24 grams of protein. I haven't had their pre-made shakes before. Let's see how it tastes. I got the vanilla. What did I get? Did I get vanilla? It looks like vanilla. What are you? Vanilla. Yeah. This is what we call GE, good enough, right? It's not spectacular. I put in that little, let's put a little third category here. We've got great, we've got good enough, we've got, my God, I would not recommend buying these. And now we've got 3 brands left. Slate. Love Slate. They were on Shark Tank. I know the owner personally, one of the owners. There's 2 of them. I really like the brand. They were the first one to throw it in a can. 100 calories, 20 grams of protein. It more than passes the test. It's like double passes the test. Stellar macros. 2 grams of fiber. It's got great macros. Yeah, I'm a sucker for the dark chocolate. It's very good. So this goes in our stud category. There's our studs. There's our there's our duds. These guys. Fairlife milk. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. This I keep in my refrigerator at home. I always have this on hand. This is my actual go-to pre-made shake, like 8 months out of the year. So I live in New York. We have all 4 seasons. When it gets hot, I use another brand. We'll talk about that in a second. But the rest of the year, this is my go-to. I don't need to taste this. I can just tell you, in my opinion, if you're looking for something that tastes like chocolate milk, rich, creamy, this reigns supreme. These Core Powers are also made by Fairlife. I consider this the same shake, even though they're not. 230 calories, 42 grams of protein versus 150 calories for 30 grams of protein. So the macros are way better on the nutrition plan. I'll put up a comparison of the 2. But this is the one that I would go with out of the 2. I would probably put this in this category and put this by itself in a league of its own, even though we're counting this as one brand. If you have an option between Core Power and the nutrition plan, get the freaking nutrition plan. Nutrition plan all day. Last one, Isopure. Okay, I could only find the green and the red flavor, but this is my go-to during the summer. During the summer, I buy the lemonade flavor and the iced tea all day. These taste like slushies. So if you're into that, fine. But for me, it falls into the category of Quest, where it's just too sweet. But they have the lemonade and the iced tea, and it is the most adult tasting protein shake you will ever have in your life. And on a hot summer day after you get into working out, I get in my car, I turn on the cooling seats, I grab my Isopure lemonade, I drive down the road, I have my nose up in the air, I think I'm the greatest thing in the world. I'm teasing. But in all seriousness, it really does, it just feels like heaven on earth. You got a sick pump in your biceps, you're in here, you've got your cooling seats on, you've got your lemonade, it's amazing. This is like my top tier. This is like my S tier, tier 1, this is my tier 2, and this is my tier 3. So we'll break that down for you on the screen above. But that's really my guide for pre-made shakes, and that's really my list. I said I'd give you my top 3, so if I have to go with my top 3, those are my top 3, okay? I like Slate, I like Isopure, and I like Fairlife. Those are my favorite pre-made protein shakes on the market. The worst, dead last place is Only What You Need. This Atkins, it's not horrible. It's not it's the least of the worst. But Alani and Only What You Need, like, guys, go back, reformulate this, because this is crap. Thanks for joining me. I hope you like what you saw today. If you don't follow me on Instagram, that's where the majority of my following is. We're going to be trying to put out 6 long format videos a month going forward on YouTube. Thank you for all the traction. I'm really starting to get really popular. I'm starting to see benefit from YouTube. So we're going to be putting out shorts every day and about 6 long formats every month. Thanks for joining me, guys. I hope this was helpful, and I hope this helps factor in what you want to keep in your refrigerator at home.